Now, our first keynote address will be delivered by a very special woman as far as sports is concerned and any other sector, because, like but the president said, she has become a star, and let me say a superstar for any woman who's aspiring to, pursue sports. Now, our keynote speaker is a Senegalese diplomat and an international executive who became the first woman and African to be appointed as the Secretary General of FIFA, the governing body of world football. Before her appointment by current FIFA President Gianni Infantino in 2016, she had spent many years working with the United Nations, serving in various capacities. In 2018, Forbes named the 57-year-old as the most powerful woman in international sports. Ladies and gentlemen, our keynote speaker is Madame Fatma Samoura, FIFA Secretary General. Hello, Madame. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Miriam. Good afternoon, everyone. And Juliet, thank you for inviting me to take part in the second edition of the African Women's Sports Summit. I'm delighted to see so many strong and talented ladies taking part, as well, of course, my brother coach from the Ghana Football Association, a strong supporter of women in football, and my two Aisha sisters from Sierra Leone and from Nigeria. If we rewind back 4 years ago, as just mentioned by Miriam, to May 2016, I was offered the ultimate opportunity to shift mindsets, to become the FIFA Secretary General. Some of you watching today may not be aware of this, but until that very day of 13 May 2016, no woman, let alone an African woman, had ever held a senior management role in the FIFA administration. So when FIFA's president, Gianni Infantino, officially announced me as the FIFA new Secretary General at the 66th FIFA Congress in Mexico City, I think that some people were a little skeptical, but I hope that not only they overcome the surprise, but that I was able over the past 4 years also to change their mind since then. I was not present at the Congress, and when the news broke, I was in Aisha Sharuda's homeland in Nigeria, in Niger, as we say. I got so many calls and text messages that it took my eldest son, who was calling me from Canada, and he was also shocked by the news. He could not get through to me for over 2 hours. That sounds crazy, right? Even crazier, or so people thought, was me. Why would I give up a comfortable position as UN Resident Coordinator and UNDP Resident Coordinator in Nigeria to take on problems of FIFA, a scandal-hit organization with a serious reputation problem? Well, my answer was simple. Having been married for a former football player for 28 years at that time, and having many friends among the top African players in Europe and Africa, I was indeed a great football fan. I also knew about the positive power of football, and I had seen firsthand its ability to shift mindset and change lives. During one of my missions with the World Food Program in Liberia in 1995, so where I saw how the fighting stopped for two reasons, rain and football. And I realized the power of this seemingly simple game. Long before my FIFA days, this remained ingrained in my mind. So when the opportunity arose to take on the role as Secretary General, I wanted, along with Gianni Infantino, to improve football governance so that FIFA could once again use football as a tool to bring positivity to people's life around the world. I wanted to test the UN values, by using football as a powerful tool for long-term changes. In my 21 years as a development and humanitarian actor, I met people from different backgrounds, whether religious, ethnic, or based on gender. I saw how they were reacting under stressful and rapidly changing situations. I had negotiated with warlords and child soldiers to allow safe passage to food for people in dire need of food aid, and had seen people lose their mind when confronted with news of imminent attack from military militias. I had seen the worst and the best in humanity, following my positions to Italy, to Republic of Djibouti, Cameroon, Chad, Guinea, Niger, Madagascar, Nigeria, Central America, and Central West Asia. This gave me great perspective, which in global football and the politics that come with it, it is very useful. When I first took up my role, everything I did was questioned. However, I had seen life and their situation, so being gossiped and speculated about didn't bother me too much. I had bigger things to think about, like turning FIFA around and making it a more transparent and accountable institution. And I'm proud to say that this is what we have done. Now the involvement of women in FIFA has completely changed, as mentioned by Miriam and Kurt, when we compare it to where it was before 2016. Not only FIFA does have a female Secretary General, an African, its council has now 6 female members. There are 39 female members of FIFA committees and 16 female Secretary General in member associations around the world. And definitely, Aisha is one of them. And for me, it's a great pride to see her sitting still on her chair, despite all the aggressivity she went through over the past few years. In terms of female member association president, my dear sister Aisha, you are really a game changer. And to be joined by 2 other strong ladies as president of member association, by Sonia BNP and by Johanna Wood, the president of New Zealand, make me just think that, yes, football is changing. We have still a long way to go in this regard, but I'm encouraged by great ladies like Betsy Kasadi, who was recently appointed as the president of IS Vita, which was a great news for the whole world of football and for the big country of football like the DRC. And I hope to see more capable ladies follow the path of these 3 strong female MA presidents. A key goal of this administration has been supporting and empowering women at all levels in football. So we established FIFA's first ever women football division and appointed its first ever chief women's football officer. In addition, we now have 2 other female chief officers at FIFA, one for human resources and services, and one for education and human rights. Recently, FIFA has invested up to $1 billion into women's football for the current 2019-2022 cycle, which goes to develop a range of programs and grow the women's game on and off the pitch. Last year, we began to see the fruit of shifting FIFA's mindset to investing in women's football with the most successful FIFA Women World Cup ever. Over 1.12 billion people around the world tune in to watch it on TV, and close to 500 million viewed it on digital platform. Another area where shifting mindset was of paramount importance was reform. Thankfully, our member association recognized that this was the only way to turn things around for the institution, and in 2016, they approved a package of landmark reforms that paves the way for significant improvement to the governance of global football. The crisis at FIFA provided at that time a massive opportunity for the new FIFA leadership to turn things around and talk about issues seldom talked about in global football governance before. In the time of Me Too, sexual violence and gender-based assault are now very seriously taken by FIFA. In the summer of 2019, we launched a major initiative to help member associations and confederations around the world introduce stronger child safeguarding measures in football. If any of you follow me on social media, you will see that I have also been using my position as FIFA Secretary General and as an African leader to shift mindset in relation to diversity. I champion not only diversity for women, but people of color in general. And I'm proud to have been able to use my platform to highlight the injustice suffered by many of our Black brothers and sisters in America following the shooting of George Floyd. Let me take the opportunity of this occasion to say and to reiterate that indeed Black lives matter everywhere. And I strongly believe that as African, we must continue to use our voices to support the African diaspora around the world. It is unfortunate that racism is still present today, particularly in sport, and with the support of the FIFA president, I picked up this fight. A sport as diverse as football should never see anyone suffering on the pitch because of the color of his or her skin. So in 2017, FIFA introduced a three-step procedure to combat discrimination at our competition, to pursue a zero-tolerance policy toward racism and discriminatory incidents in football, and to severely punish such behavior. Racism should be nowhere in society, especially in a sport as globally loved as football. I believe the next major shift in mindset that is needed is connected with the perception of African football. Africa is a continent that is bursting with football talent, and my 6-month mission as FIFA General Delegate for Africa gave me the opportunity to see firsthand some of the amazingly talented individuals our continent has. And it's indeed during one of those African competitions in Cairo in September last year that I had a chance to meet with my brother coach. And many of these talents are women. I want to see Africa at the top of the world football. And my dream is definitely to see an African team reach the final phases of the FIFA World Cup. However, we as Africans, we must work together to do more, to harness this talent and develop it. I believe that we have to shift our mindsets about the potential of the African game and aim to raise football to the highest international levels in Africa. FIFA is passionate about developing African football, and I'm proud as its African Secretary General to play my part in supporting Africa and encouraging the bright and talented youth of our continent to show the world that African football has to offer. In conclusion, I call on the panel present here today, and especially all those strong supporters of women football, and to all of you following at home, to shift your mindset, to believe in the greatness of Africa, of African football and African women, so that I'm not the first and last African Secretary General of FIFA, but the one who inspired the many that I hope will follow me to show the world what can happen when one continent shifts its mindset and awakens its greatness. Football is indeed, as mentioned by Kut, one of the greatest unifier, but also a unique tool for equalizer. Thank you very much.